Hello, this is Pete or Kenshin1913, and this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. I'm doing it solo, and we're going to be making sausage, peppers, and polenta. Alright, so for our sausage and peppers, we're going to need sausage, hot sausage, sweet sausage, whatever, Italian sausage. We're going to need peppers. We're going to need onions. We're going to need garlic. And then I'll explain all the other stuff that we're going to need for when we do the polenta. Now, I'm not actually using polenta. I'm using this stuff. It's called maize. Yeah. It's basically maize. You use it to make these little flour, or corn pancake thingies. I forget what it is. Whatever. Anyways, you can use polenta. It's the same thing. It's very similar. This is more fine. And so, yeah, I'll explain what you need when we get to the polenta part. But, yeah, you need sausage, peppers, and onions. Now, I'm going to actually show you how to cut up this pepper. Alright, so you see this pepper here? What we got to do right now is, what you do is you cut off the top like this. Alright? You put that to the side, and then you cut off the bottom like this. That way you have a nice base. And then what you do is you cut a line through here. And then what you do is you slowly take your knife and you just cut out the ribs here. Like this. I just learned this technique like literally a year ago from America's Test Kitchen. It's amazing. And yeah, of course, watch your fingers when you're doing this. And there you go. Now it's very easy just to slice them up like this. See what I'm doing? And the beautiful part about this is none of the pepper is wasted. Because what you do, and I'll show you in just a second, and I've already pre-cut all my garlic and onions, is none of this stuff's wasted because you just turn this around and you just slice it like this. And boom. And then for the top, what you're going to want to do is you're going to pop out the top just like this. See? And you can use this. Of course, I already washed the peppers ahead of time. You want to do that, of course. And there you go. So we have everything ready for the frying pan. So the first thing we want to do is we want to heat up the oil. And just put a little olive oil in here. There we go. It's about, I don't know, a tablespoon. Alright, when you get the oil up to about medium, about the temperature you want, you're going to throw in your peppers here. Just like this. And everything's cut uniformly so that it's easier to cook or quicker to cook. And you're just going to let this cook for a few minutes or until they start to soften. Then we're going to throw in our onions. Alright, at this point I'm going to throw in the onions even though the peppers are still cooking. And you're going to mix that all around. At this juncture you're going to want to add your salt and pepper. Let me see if I can do this without just a little bit of salt and a little pepper. And you're going to let this cook until everything starts getting all nice and tender. Lower the heat in case if you feel it spitting on like this, lower it a little bit. But I got a medium high. Okay, so now the peppers and onions are getting kind of tender. As you can see, the onions are becoming a little more translucent. And what I want to do now at this point, the peppers are not fully cooked. That's alright though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic. And you're just going to mix this around until you smell that garlic, this fragrant. You just want to do it for about 30 seconds. At this point, you can kind of smell the garlic. If you can smell the garlic, you're doing good. Next, you're going to add, I might need to add a little more oil. Anyways, next you're going to add in your sausage. You're just going to throw it in and let it cook, get some nice color. You're going to throw it in whole. Normally, I would cut it up, but I like everybody getting one big whole sausage. So, what you want to do is make some space on the bottom for the sausage to go. Again, if you feel like everything's cooking too quick, lower the heat a little bit. Right now I have it on medium-high. And yeah, you just want to let the sausage cook here. And this is going to take a bit. Alright, at this point, as you can see, the sausage is starting to cook right here. If you did not use hot sausage, I use hot Italian sausage. If you did not, right now would be the perfect time to throw in a little red pepper flake to give it some kick. Because there is a reason you're going to want to put in the red pepper flake, even if you're not a big fan of heat, is because we're going to be adding one more ingredient near the end of the cooking process that will help balance out the heat a little bit in the sausage and peppers. So I'm actually going to add just a little bit of red pepper flake. So I'm going to add just a little bit of red pepper flake right on the edge back here. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Anyways, you want to throw it in the oil because the flavors of the red pepper will bloom in the pan with the oil, because it needs oil to kind of cook, or at least the term is bloom. So yeah, don't worry about if you're cooking everything all together, because it's going to be good. The only thing now you got to worry about is just getting the sausage up to where you want it, and getting your peppers and onions cooked as well. It'll take some time, but trust me, this process is well worth it. And you want to keep your sausage, last thing I'll say before I stop and just let this cook. So you want to keep your sausage, try to keep it on the pan so that it's getting that direct heat. Alright, while we have our polenta, or our sausage cooking over there, I'm actually going to start doing the polenta. So what I have in this pan right now is I have 1.5 cups of milk and 1.5 cups of water. To that, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn the heat on to medium-low and let this come up until all the butter is melted. You can see it. And at this point you want to get yourself 1 cup of polenta. So the butter is just about all melted. And now I'm going to take my 1 cup of, this is maize, not polenta, but polenta, if you're using the quick one, it'll do. And what you're going to do is just whisk and whisk and whisk until it starts to, everything gets thick. And yeah, you're just going to constantly stir until this is ready. And then at the end, we're going to throw in a little bit of 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. So yeah, all you gotta do is just keep mixing this until it all thickens up. And polenta, what polenta is, if you don't have that, you can always use grits. Like I said, I'm using this maize stuff. It's like finely ground cornmeal. And all I'm doing is just stirring, stirring, stirring. I'm going in a circular motion, but stirring everything in the center as well. And you'll notice that this will get thick real quick. Again, because it's so thin, the cornmeal is so thin, it's almost like a porridge. That's kind of like what it is. And now, usually polenta is more yellow than this. So yeah, this is like instant cooked here. And yeah, as you can see, it's coming together quite nicely, just in a matter of minutes. And you just gotta keep mixing, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put it on low and just keep mixing, and I'll be right back. We're back, and I'm gonna add my cup of, well, this might not be exactly 1 cup, but I'm gonna add my cup of this is Parmesan cheese, or you can use Pecorino Romano. You add that in, and you mix it about. Yeah, because you want nice cheesy polenta, or corn, because everything's going to go on top of this. This is just the base. Alright, so that's pretty much it right here. And look how quick that came together. And then you want to do this almost as the sausage and peppers are almost done, not ahead of time, because then you get like a film of whatever on top. Okay, our sausage and peppers is all done. You want to make sure that you cook the sausage to an internal temperature of 160 degrees. Anyways, now that you got all that heat in there with all the red pepper flakes and the spicy sausage, if you're using that, what I like to do just to help it out is I put a little bit of balsamic vinegar in there. Just maybe about a quarter of a cup. Not too much. It's going to add like an extra thing of sweetness to it. And what I'm going to do, I shut off the heat. I'm just going to kind of try and deglaze the pan a little bit with the balsamic vinegar, because there's some nice flavor on the bottom. It's unfortunate that the heat was just a little too high, but what are you going to do? So yeah, you just want to let the balsamic vinegar get inside, and oh yeah, I should be using this, and I apologize. But yeah, you want to try and deglaze the pan on the bottom and get some of those nice bits from the bottom of the pan here, as you can see. And yeah, pretty much everything is cooked, and you're going to get this lovely sweetness. So what I'm going to do is we'll plate this up and we'll have a bite. Let's plate it. So the first thing you want to do with your polenta is you're just going to mix it up again if you need to. If you ended up getting that skin across. So what I'm going to do is nice cheesy polenta. Just like that. And you want to make a bed for your food. I mean, you don't have to. This is really more presentation than anything. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of that delicious sausage and peppers with the onions and everything, and just put it on top along with one sausage if I can get it. Whoop. And there you go. Okay, so here is our sausage and peppers and polenta. I already pre-cut the sausage. That's excellent, of course. Spicy, as it should be. And here's the polenta with, you got yourself some peppers and onions. There's just something about peppers, onions, and sausage that's just really good, but I put a little bit of that balsamic vinaigrette in there, and I made it all nice. And there's like a little touch of sweet with the heat. You can't go wrong. You got cheesy grits. If you got fresh parsley, throw it on top, but I didn't. So there you go. So I've been Pete, or Kenshin1913, and I have been, or this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913. And as my mom always says, enjoy and happy eating.